You're listening to Polymatic.media, episode 49 for October 21st, 2018. Welcome to the Polymaticast. Hey, John, how's it going? It's not that close.
Oh yeah, it's the one before, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Actually, I didn't even look at the calendar. How close are we until
this is
that
the last
day?
one before Halloween is here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Yeah, I still haven't decided.
Spooktober.
I haven't decided whether I'm going to do a spooky OG thing or not. I think it's right up.
You should.
It is. It's on the Wednesday. Like
Yes,
I should, but I probably won't. Laziness.
Yeah.
I just decided to make Matt write out reasons why I shouldn't do an opener in the opener.
You should. I should send in some artwork for Halloween.
Oh, okay.
For OG.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not.
I'll take it. I'll share it.
Yeah. So, what's been going on?
I guess a lot, but my Saturday's been pretty saturated. So on OG, we are going through anime season reviews, so we watch a lot of stuff. We talked about 18 things and 9 before. We have probably, I think, another 7 to do for tomorrow, and I'm sure someone's going to reach out to me tonight, and because we record on Saturday, and say, hey, we should do a thing, and maybe we'll do some more, and I don't even know how much more is coming out. But that's been sort of eating away my weekends, so I've not had like a moment to get back to sort of the architectural big change I was doing to the unnamed app, and then even tonight and today and this afternoon is a little bit sort of booked up. So a lot of little things going on. And yeah, so I've just been busy, but I haven't done anything novel or of any real major note. I've just been sort of very busy and active with a bunch of stuff that like no one cares about. Oh, okay, so this is one moment worth of talking about. I did light up, not this week, last week, I lit up the Patreon page for OGN. Because I've been producing podcasts with people and stuff for years, and okay, so money comes out of my pocket, and that's not going to change. I don't ever think enough patrons are going to zero out those costs. Like you look at it as a point of view from a year, but it's a lot of money to host things and put stuff up and do it well. So, and I'm not dumb about these topics, right? So I know how I'm spending my money. Regardless, the point of it is that anyone who wants to support what OGN is doing in terms of podcasts, they have an opportunity now to do that through the Patreon page. And so I did that, and I have a couple of patrons. That's cool. And so I've connected up with the Discord server. And one of the things I actually surprisingly still a little excited about is I created one of the tiers where people have early access. So in the cases where shows are done and they could be hours or days early, they get it immediately as I publish it to the publishing system. They get an immediate copy. So anyone who and Patreon lit up an option where you can turn on the RSS feed option. So you as the patron, and with your authorization and knowledge of the tiers, you get a custom link on our page, and you copy and paste that. You throw that in your podcasting app of choice, and you get whatever is coming down new. So in the case of Orla, that's something I told her about, and what that would mean is when she releases new demos, people will get that into their app. They wouldn't even have to necessarily go out to the Patreon page to go save and manually download the file. It's like literally coming into a feed for them. Yeah. So there's lots of little smart integration things and connected with Discord, and it's been sort of fun doing that and sort of lighting that up. So that's probably the only thing of note I think we're talking about. Yeah. I mean, even did This is a Talker's Life as just an essential thing for it. I don't think anyone's interested, but if they are, they can go out to the website and look at one of the shows. like Attack Generation. You'll see there's a link in there. Polymatic's not included in any of that because
Yes.
John doesn't want it to be.
Yes.
And obviously, there's not enough money that's gonna like solve whatever costs that are being done here.
It's like,
or mine.
there's
really.
like a giant hole in the ground. That's where I put my money.
Yeah. However, I've been doing this for over a decade, so I've put a lot of money away every year over the course of 10 years. I mean, that literally is a third of a deposit for a very expensive, or not even, a very cheap Tesla. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of money goes into that bucket. It's the free stuff's never going to change. It's just we do extra things in the course of like OG's archives. We've had people invite us to weddings. We've had contest winner shows. We did things that have never been distributed for public. So I'm going to dig those things out, special openers, little things. We just have lots of little things that very few people have gotten access to. And so I'll unearth those things and I'll put them in the feed for those who want to spend $1 once a month.
I did send in some to OG. I think I did send at some point like a entire tray of like tiny figurines, like little. I think they were from like Haruhi.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
it's possible. I don't have any.
You gave them away as like prizes.
Oh, it's possible. Yeah, that's a
raffle
good
thing.
possibility. We used to do more active contests. We sort of just don't. I don't know, but again, when I look at the numbers, there are people out there. There's people downloading. I still don't understand why, but they are there. And yeah. So anyhow, that was it. That was a thing. That was a course of activity for me 2 weeks ago, and continuing along this week. And yeah.
So as for Patreon, I have my opinions about Patreon. I think that they're doing something good, but they have some issues. Several of my artist buddies have been getting into trouble with that, so it's like
yeah.
I
nothing that I do falls into a bucket of concern usually.
Yeah,
But
no, I
if
don't mean
if there's
like
cursing,
they're,
it's disclaimed.
the problem is that the world is so toxic right now
Right.
in social
Or
media that as soon as somebody comes out,
Sensitive and toxic. I would
as
say
soon as
both
somebody
those.
comes out with like a Patreon, the trolls come out and they start hammering some people with
Yeah, I understand.
like, oh, they're doing this and this. Well, they're not actually doing this and this, and that's why they should shut down the Patreon. Okay, like
Yeah.
I think that same thing that PayPal has issues. I think Patreon has issues too. I think that
Sure, right.
the
I think they all
Patreon
do.
issues stem from the PayPal issues.
I mean, we were having a side conversation about credit stuff, and and actually in the case of the U.S., they don't care about they care about your credit card activity. If you have a credit card that isn't like from your bank, but like from one of the, whatever the main, American Express, Discover, Visa, MasterCard, they report on that stuff. But if you are just paying out of pocket all the time, if you care about credit history concerns like loans and buying a house, you got to play the game a little bit. And using your GPay and your, Android Pay, what am I saying? Android Pay, iPay, GPay, or PayPal as transacting everything, while it is mitigating your risk of credit fraud and stuff like that, in the same respect, it doesn't add to the value add that could be a possibility for you with your credit history. So sometimes there's these games you gotta play, and they all have their problems, and that is despite their actual intentions, but the sort of end result of the counterculture that affects it. If that makes any sense.
Okay, so
yeah, tangent aside.
Yeah. So another thing you mentioned was Discord.
Yeah.
Did you know about the thing that was happening with Discord this week?
Yeah,
They're having some
I heard
issues
about
with
it.
like the you can't sue Discord. I mean, what?
You gotta email them to opt out. But I think the law is written for EU. I don't think that is written for the US. I don't know. I haven't researched that. I saw people linking about it.
This is why I don't have a Discord.
Yeah. I lit it up for example, in the case of OG, we have a Slack. We talk to each other. That's the point of it, us to collaborate and organize shows and whatever. No one else inside the sort of OGN is really using it other than us. Bryce, carries over an OG, and he is really, between him and his girlfriend, he doesn't really need to utilize it for anything other than that, and communication with me. But we don't have anything that's like an active place for people who listen to chat with us. And so that's why I lit up Discord. In fact, I actually technically lit up the Discord in the beta days of Discord. And then I shut it down, and then they got mad at me. They're like, whoa, please come back. We need beta users. And I just didn't have any valid opportunity, I think, where it made sense for OG. But it was only in recent time that I decided to do that. So I have, and it's like 15 people on it, and that's cool. Our audience size is tremendously larger than that, but those are the amount of people that wanted to show up, and they chat with us, and that's
it's like
cool.
the hangout for Jefferson, right?
Oh, Jefferson likes to do. He was doing this in our Slack too. He would just throw random crap in. Sometimes it was interesting. Like he sent a thing he clearly copied and pasted from someone out of Facebook that said in like Facebook they have a mark safe if something happened during the hurricane, and you have a friend who lives there, and they acknowledge with Facebook that they're safe, or they put up a little thing saying I'm acknowledging that I'm safe. And so he had threw in a random thing where it was about the YouTube outage of 2018. He clearly copied and pasted from somewhere. I know that wasn't his creation, but it was pretty funny. But out of like 100 things like that, like 1 out of 100 things is just generally a lot of noise. So I take a personal issue with it. No one else does. But I'm getting notification from Slack all day. And so it's like, okay, please stop doing that.
Well, Slack and Discord are different
I know,
target
but then he was
right?
doing this in the general area of Discord, and I was getting the same kind of thing from the server all day. And I was like,
that's why you turn off notifications for Discord.
I know, I could, but so I created Jeffersonville. I created his own channel with the hopes that he would just post all his crap in there, and he does, and that's wonderful. And now I can mute that specific channel and Jefferson's random activities.
So the artist streams that I was doing, people were asking me, go create a Discord thing, and there was a security risk a while back. It's really early on. And I was like, I'm not going to install Discord because I don't want to get the security issues. And then I haven't even decided. I haven't even tried it. I just
the beta
don't
version,
nothing to do with them.
The beta version I saw I looked under the hood, see what they were doing, and I didn't really like what was going on there. I had some general concerns, but okay, so unless you use their store and you give them your credit card information, you're giving them their email and address. That's it. They don't really keep a lot of stuff unless, obviously, aside from what you chat about.
Well, and everything that you have the application installed on your machine,
if you
right?
do integrations, sure. But if you don't do integrations, what's your risk?
An application that's running on your machine.
Right, okay, so you want to install that?
I don't want to install that ever.
And it's
but then again, let's not go into that because I've had the discussion with people and they're like, "Oh, what's the risk? What's the risk?" Oh, okay, man. If you're paranoid like me, no. I have issues installing Slack. So, oh well. Okay, so are you doing anything for Halloween?
The only kind of special thing that I might be doing is this neighborhood has a bunch of kids in it. They're all getting older, but it's weird because we got this little pocket neighborhood with a lot of kids. You would think the kids would like trick or treat among each other's neighbors, but they don't at all. They all get in their cars with their parents and they drive out of the neighborhood and they go to whatever other neighborhoods. Yeah. And over the years since I've lived here, I like dressing up the house or doing geeky things. One year I basically put some stuff on the back of my windows so that I could reverse project to it, and I was showing spooky stuff, and I have a couple little things that have motion sensors on them that like have spooky, talking, chatting, like skulls that light up, and it's perfect when everything is dark at night, even with the like porch light on. And or I took the hue lights and I scheduled it up so that all the lights would flicker throughout all the windows in the house. I did stuff like that. And you get one or two random neighbor that realizes after they've just done their hours of trick-or-treating with their kids, oh, we'll stop by our neighbor, right? And yeah, so it seems like a stupid thing to do that, so I just sort of put a stool out with a plastic pumpkin and put a bunch of candy in and let it sit all night.
And then next morning you have to eat it yourself.
Well, I just put it back in the fridge, and then I share it with people at the podcast and stuff like that. So the only special thing I decided to do, because I'm not really going to go put any effort in anymore, and I decided that a few years ago, is I decided to import a bunch of Japanese Kit Kats, like a bunch of different flavors, and not a huge volume of them. And that's something special. So anyone who's got a, get some candy from that, they're going to get something interesting. And they're going to be like, oh, wow. Pudding, what's the one? There's a Halloween special one or something that's on its way. Something about, I don't think it's creme brulee. It's like a certain kind of pudding, Kit Kat. So anyhow, I got some of those.
You'd think it'd be like pumpkin spice Kit Kats.
Oh, I hope not. So the ones that I've received so far have been strawberry and raspberry, and there's some more that should be flooding in this week. And I will put them in, not a large volume. And then what I'll do is I'll take whatever's left over. I'll take them probably to work.
Yeah.
And then let people have at it. So that's it. That's the only interesting thing I'm doing.
Don't bring sugar-free gummy bears to work.
Should I, or
that's not a good idea. That's like there's some Amazon page for the for sugar-free gummy bears.
Yeah, no,
just look it up. There's like
no, they're not.
Lots of comments. Don't feed them to anybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you can feed them to bears.
For me, there's no celebration of Halloween over here, but there's lots of people out here that do some sort of stuff. They decorate the house a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. They have a little party or something. There is something similar to this, but I don't think they do that in this neighborhood. But then again, I live in an apartment building, so getting to my apartment to get to the candy stuff, it doesn't happen because there's nobody there. But I have been printing lots of pumpkins, so little tiny 3D printed pumpkins.
Can you put lights or stuff in there?
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to print a few more of these, and put them in the hallway on the day itself.
That's
and
cool.
then put maybe some candy out there, some prepackaged candy stuff.
Yeah,
so we
cool.
don't get any trouble. So yeah, I think that's about it for me. And of course the artwork stuff, because I took the 31st off, and that's going to be my stream day. So people are going to hopefully drop by the stream all day.
My buddy Vic he saw what I did with the kitchen window, and he took it way farther. Because, he's got a lot of technology and crap too, and he's got his own house. And he always shares the comments of how some of the kids are scared to go trick-or-treating at his house because they'll scare him. He has like a bay window, a small bay window. And so what he did is he took the idea of what I did, and he found this thin, like movie professional holographic film, and he put it on his bay window. And so from a long distance you gotta sort of know how he has this, but from the bay window, basically it's sort of an area like a rec room area, then connected to like a dining room area where he doesn't really have a big long table or anything in there. And from the distance, he projects like holographic 3D ghosts and whatever. So when you go by his house, and especially when it's dark, it looks like there's a ghost, various ghosts floating in his bay window.
Nice.
And then he got like a bunch of Amazon Fire tablets, and he, basically put Android on them and whatever, and found somebody who had these like little apps that you can run where they all sync up, and he puts the tablets in portraits, and like they're at the door or near the window or whatever it is. People put like pictures of their family, and you see these ghosts sort of scare, and then the ghosts float between the portraits and stuff. So he does little things like that, and there's all kinds of stuff that he's done that I have not, for life of me, ever seen on Halloween. Because
have you seen the thing on Netflix yet? There's a new I don't know if it's a movie or if it's a series. It's a Halloween thingy.
No, I haven't heard anything.
Last year, of course, we had Stranger Things that dropped last new season. But this year they put up some sort of movie. I don't know what the name of the thing is.
Yeah, I don't know.
But speaking of The Haunting of Hill House.
Okay,
I'll check it out maybe on the 31st anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll use the service for once. Speaking of, they canceled Iron Fist and Luke Cage.
Are you upset by
any
of that?
I am not upset because I
Nor
couldn't
am
get
I.
through season 2 of Iron Fist. I couldn't get through season 1 of Luke Cage.
I really didn't hate Iron Fist, but I really didn't like it either. And Luke Cage, I liked him as a character in what was the other
Defenders?
Huh?
The Defenders?
No. That was the amalgamation. That was no, what's her name?
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones, that's it. I liked him as his character and his origin, all that stuff inside Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
But Luke Cage as its own thing, I spent more time Minecrafting, and not while that was on, I really just was not interested in it. It didn't I don't know, I just wasn't engaged with it at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not that I don't like Luke Cage as a character or him as an actor. I just didn't like the show. Same thing with Iron Fist. So I just didn't watch either of them. I didn't watch the Defenders at all. And I stopped watching Jessica Jones. All these Marvel side things, they weren't done badly, but they just weren't incredibly engaging.
Well, I think that Netflix is just signaling to Disney right now, like, yeah, okay, we're not gonna put any more money into your shows, basically.
Right, got you.
Disney is gonna put all this stuff onto their own platform. Although Netflix did finance, I think, all 3 series, right? They did pay for all 3 series to be made.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know. And then the Defenders, right?
But I mean, I would also say, I'm not surprised. You make I think a stronger, legit point about Disney. But the question is, was there any real ratings?
Well, the thing
if
is,
you're going on Allen ratings,
with
my
Netflix.
Allen ratings were real low for them.
I'm surprised they don't put they don't request input, like what you think of the series anymore. They used to do that, but
they do with the thumbs up, thumbs down.
No, yeah. But they used to be able to give like star ratings, like 5 stars, if you liked it or not.
Well, you would give, right. That's correct. And now it's just like, do you like it? Do you hate it? Right. And even then, I got to be honest, 5 stars is not enough, maybe 10, because there's some of the granular nature of where like I don't super hate it, but I don't super like it, and a 3 or a 4 more represents my feeling on that out of a 10 than a 3.
They should just have 3 stars, like an up vote, a down vote, and a meh.
Oh yeah, no, I could totally agree with that. I just think
because every time you give me just a choice between like or not like, I'm just gonna do not like, because
Yeah, and that's typically where I'm at. I am more likely to say dislike than say like in those scenarios. And it's not because I'm trying to be mean. It's like that's what my feeling is on it. And it's not because I'm coming from a curmudgeon grump perspective. I try not to vote that way. Otherwise, then everything is terrible.
Are you going to get the Disney thing?
I don't know. I am not. I'm not the high centric focus of interest. In fact,
Well,
I
they
have.
do have all the superhero stuff. They have Star Wars. You know.
Yeah, but the question is, it's the same. It's the same argument I make about CBS All Access.
Yeah.
I
What
I
if they buy
hated
CBS?
I hated buying it because of just Star Trek. And then they basically got my money for 3 or 4 months where they really didn't offer anything. Now there's Young Sheldon, and I like the show, but I was watching it through Hulu. But then Hulu has been inserting because of their contract with CBS, because CBS wanted it, all these commercials. So I was like, well, I'm paying for CBS All Access, so I'll just watch it over there where it's commercial free. And but 2 shows or 3 shows from CBS does not merit a $9 a month
Yeah,
thing,
that's way too much.
in my opinion. And you're lucky because you get to watch Discovery without going through that channel on Netflix,
Netflix.
commercial free. But I don't get that in the U.S. And so if I look at it from a strong point of view, I like the new Star Trek Discovery, but it does not merit $9 times 12 a year. It's not that amazing.
No.
And when I get down to it, it's not that life-changing important that I have to know about it. So when I reevaluate all the small things I just waste a lot of money on. Yeah, I mean, I've considered maybe just killing Hulu. There are a couple good things I like that, I can get on Hulu. But, like, if I wait a year, that stuff shows up on Netflix, right? And,
Yep.
and I'm spending $45 times 12 because I have the commercial-free version, which still isn't commercial-free when it comes to certain TV networks that insist
Yeah, very air
that
quotes.
they can't get their
commercial-free.
content unless you jam in one of their 9 of their commercials every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad. So it's the same thing. It's like, yeah, I like that stuff, but is it going to be worth whatever $10 option they're going to force upon everybody? $120 a year to have access to some of that stuff. They got more options. They got a higher average if you look at all the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
They're going to do
Marvel
a separate
stuff.
Star Wars TV show, right? So they're going to do the Mandalorian thing.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But they have to be really good. They can't just be a throwaway thing they do. Because that's what I felt about a lot of the Netflix things, and even the what was it, Legion, sort of like but not like. There's a whole bunch of other Netflix things that were clearly canceled. They were sort of like but not like. Inhumans. They were just sort of really bad.
Talk about flops.
It's just bad. And is that worth your $9 a month? And you go, oh my God, Alan, that's not a lot of money. Well, but when you multiply that by 2 or 3 of them, that's $300-400 back a year. That means a new nice fancy microphone, or pretty good microphone. That's a third of a flagship phone.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and the thing is,
Smartphone.
when I look at it, I think that I just have Netflix. I have Amazon Prime for the video, so I'm gonna get the new season of The Expanse at some point, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I still haven't seen season 3, and I think I have some other stuff there too. Oh yeah, I have YouTube Premium, so I don't get the ads,
Right.
which is great.
Right.
Because
I
hate that, and I have another PC where I'm not logged in as my main user, and I can go to my account from there, and I get the ads. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just go watch it on another monitor because I'm so done with these ads.
Most of the time.
Grammarly. If we ever get a sponsor request from Grammarly, I'm gonna reject it because just on the I hate the ads.
Yeah. I feel healthier without that annoyance. I will say that. And so
it isn't because it's like because the ad itself is annoying. Well, they are because they have to try to catch your eye in 3 seconds because otherwise you're going to skip it. But it's the it's the amount of times that you see it. I think that's
Hmm.
the same problem that Hulu has, where they
Yeah,
replay
well,
the ad so many times because they don't have
it,
enough advertisers.
no, it depends. So in the case of CW network here, um, regardless of whether you pay like at the highest tier like I do, that is supposed to be commercial free and have DVR options, in it. Um, CW only allows one contract, which is you have to put our ad mechanisms in, and whether you use their free app or whether you use, a streaming service like Hulu, you
Yeah.
get a ton of the same self promo apps from CW, and then the same, I don't know, maybe half a dozen terrible commercials.
Yeah.
And they're constant. And then I get to a commercial point, and there could be maybe 8 of them inside of an hour episode, and maybe 4 of them, 3 or 4 of them in a 20, 30 minute, episode. And they repeat, like, they go for maybe the shortest amount is like 4 minutes to anywhere up to near over 6 minutes,
Well,
and they're
if you
just
pay
playing the
for a
same
service, you shouldn't
obnoxious
see
commercials.
ads. When
Hmm?
you pay for a service like that, you shouldn't see ads.
I
Right?
agree, and so I pay for the non-commercial beta, whatever it is. And while it's really good, it's not great with the CW, and it's not great with CBS stuff. But the irony is, I pay for CBS, so now I just have to go out of my way to do something different. I apparently get a bunch of anime stuff there that I don't really actually look at. Um, and
But you get that on Netflix too, because
Yeah, and
nobody
there
watches
have
those
been
anyway.
some Hulu originals. The first was pretty good, but not enough to spend the kind of level of money I'm spending. And my roommate gets the value out of Hulu more than I do as of late. As of late, I find myself more interested in the time that I consider my TV time, is been YouTube
Yeah.
and maybe streams and maybe something on Netflix and obviously, certain series on HBO. And so for me, I feel like I want to cut the cord with Hulu. Got to be honest.
Well, and
It's
that's a
not
lot
that it's
easier, right?
but and that's $45 a month is not the end of my universe. But multiply that throughout the year, that's pretty significant.
45 or 45?
43 and some change. Basically, when you add all the tax and special services, about $45 a month.
For
And this
for
gives
Hulu.
for Hulu. This is the
And you still get
commercial-free,
ads.
commercial-free with DVR, and I can, up to 5 people or something like that. They also have
Wow.
live TV in there too. That's the thing
Wow.
that they finally sorted out. I have a live TV option in there, so if I wanted to watch TV live or the games live, I could do that with Hulu. I can do it on my device. I can do it all through websites. I can do it directly on my
Yeah, that's
DVR.
definitely not worth
right on my
$45.
No, and I sort of agree with that. I like a lot of the shows. I would like to see Orville, but I just don't need. I don't know. I think I could use that money for a better expense. I think that
Yeah.
was the point, is that we have a tendency to throw money away in areas where we probably don't really need to. You can
Yeah.
manage without it. It's not the end of the world.
So, something else. I was looking for emojis, like what they look like on different things. If you
Oh,
look
yeah?
at the pumpkin emoji, I think that's one of the emojis that actually works almost on all platforms.
Huh.
If you open up Polymatic
Yeah, I'm
link
looking at it.
slash,
I'm waiting for it right now.
Polymatic link slash /06,
Mm-hmm.
you see all the different emojis.
Yeah,
So the
that's
Apple
interesting.
one's good. The Google one's good. The Microsoft one is like an orange
Yeah,
with a
I don't
face
know what
on
the
it.
hell
I have
that
no
is
idea what they
about.
did there. But then again, most of the Microsoft ones don't look that good. The Samsung one is good. The WhatsApp one is really good. Really like that one.
Mhm.
Twitter one is okay. It it shows you that it's a pumpkin. The Facebook one, it's pretty good. The emoji one, I haven't seen that before, but all of the other
Yeah.
ones are pretty good. Mozilla is pretty close to the Microsoft one.
Yeah, I don't think that Microsoft one's very good. I agree with that.
But the Microsoft one is really the it looks like an orange. Looks like a Mandarin. We call them mandarijn, which is Dutch for satsuma. Well,
Yeah, I don't know.
they look like orange, but they're smaller.
Like nectarines.
I have no idea. Anyway,
Um,
I just
well,
thought
that
it was
was
funny that the Microsoft one was really bad. I was
yeah,
like,
the Polymatic.link/06.
six. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that's kind of neat, as long as they're the proper emoji code. And in Windows 10, if you do Windows, I think it's Windows dot, but also if you do Windows like semicolon, it will bring up a little emoji thing. You find your emoji.
Same thing on OS X. If you press
Yep.
Command Control Space, then you can see the emojis.
Yep, and then you can just paste right in. You know, it's interesting to see the difference between a Twitter post, a Mastodon emoji, and also a Discord.
Well, it depends on the platform you're on and
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
on the font that we use.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just thought it was funny, Halloween related ish. So comparisons of pumpkin emojis.
Yeah.
Besides that, I recently saw that my Chromebook Pixel is not getting updates anymore. So I was really, confused about that because
Is that
I'm like,
the really
that thing is 5 years old, and it's
Yeah.
not bad because it's a Core i5 or Core
That was the
i7?
real expensive Samsung one, right?
No,
That
no,
was
no,
like
it's not a Samsung one. It's that they don't have a brand on it besides Google.
Oh, okay. So this was after the Samsung one, because the
Yeah,
Samsung
yeah, yeah.
one was like a $1,300 something.
No, this was $1,200. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So this is what
So-
came after it. Yeah.
I got it at Google I/O in 2013, and right now it doesn't get updates anymore. I'm like, what? So I'm not like being offended that I paid for it or something. I'm like, it's like, why? It's a good machine. It's not bad. Still hardware, still great.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand why they would not give it updates anymore.
They're not giving any of the new Chromebooks, anything that isn't the new Chromebooks updates anymore, as far as I understand, because they have a new version of the OS that has the Android app integration in
Yeah,
it.
I understand, but if it was a
Yeah.
flagship device, it's a great device hardware-wise, then
Right,
why
I got
wouldn't you, right?
Yeah, I
It
have no
can
idea.
still do it, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't
you were able
have
to put
any special
Ubuntu on
hardware
it.
on there that makes it bad or something. But I just weird. So I decided to put Ubuntu on it, and it
Right.
works great. And it works straight out of the box. I just had to put it into developer mode, and I need to press Control L every time I boot. But I can replace the BIOS on it to automatically just go to there, and then I can just use it as a
Pretty sweet.
Ubuntu machine, and it's a great machine. The only thing that bothers me is the 32 gig space. That's a little bit annoying, but you can just
Yeah.
put an SD card in there. So.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
And it's a great little machine. The only thing is that it doesn't do the wake. It doesn't do the hibernate thing. So I cannot do and just close the lid and just walk away. I have to shut it down
Oh, okay.
because of the
Got it.
BIOS. So as soon as I get the BIOS fixed, I can do the resume thing.
I'm sure, like you and many other people, there are going to be people who figure out how to fix this stuff. So
Yeah, but as soon as I've already been looking on local eBay and for like Chromebook Pixels and stuff, because you
Oh,
can
okay.
really easily update it to be like an Ubuntu machine. It's great. I love it. I'm gonna be playing a little bit more with it after I change the BIOS and reinstall it, because I have to reinstall Chrome OS to update the BIOS to something else, which is kind of annoying. It's like as soon as you do that, then it's done. Then there's no more Chrome OS on it, and I'll have to figure out a way to put something else on the replace the logo or something, because I think there's a Chrome OS or Google logo on it at some point, so I'll have to make something creative about that. Okay, I've got another thing. Olo printer. They sent out the first few samples. I think there's like 12 people that have received theirs. People have been printing it, and if you go to Polymatic.media/07, you can see some of the results of that. It doesn't look good. They say first backer printers are a success, right? There's lopsided elk, Pikachu's with lots of stripes on it. Like there's lots of banding and stuff. There's a Groot with like lots of lines on it. So there's some really big issues with this thing. And I think that even if it's just tweaking that needs to be done to get this right, I don't think you're going to get the banding out of this. Because some of the pictures they show are like of stuff that has just been printed, right? That is just done, and there's still some of the resin on it that needs to be washed. And after you wash it, you're going to see some pretty bad results out of it because the banding on this thing looks really bad. It's like you had a 3D printer and there's like an artifact in the moving up and down, or there's an artifact like a ringing in the belts or something, or in the tracks. And I think that this is going to be a problem. I think they're going to have to do some re-engineering to get this really solved. I think this is a setting issue. But then again, it's been an ongoing drama. I think it's like 3 years.
How many?
I started complaining about the the Olo printer in 2 years ago, because they said that we were going to ship it by the time we started the podcast. Yeah, it's been 2 years and I still haven't gotten mine.
Yeah,
anyway.
I didn't actually check the status before this discussion or the recording, but maybe a couple weeks ago I got the only one thing where they were having trouble with manufacturing issues with China, and then obviously finances as a result of it. Sometimes I think the ease of getting stuff made from China is also a bit of a con game.
Yeah.
And I think that's what throws a lot of these situations off. But regardless, there is some kind of action light that's Bluetooth enabled and connected through app software that's supposed to be pretty color accurate and whatnot. That I forget what they called it, but it's made by the Lume Cube people. So that's supposed to be coming. I don't know. I won't know until it shows up. But it's probably been a good year or more or something since they've been having problems. But apparently they're finally shipping things, so that's good. I just won't know until I see it. I suspect probably November, December at this point. Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
Never ever gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fun stuff.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dragging it on.
Yep.
So the first one is Cheeton, Polymatic.media. It's a mascot that misbehaves.
It does. It incredibly does. Then you speed it up, and it looks like they had too many Red Bulls.
Yeah, very entertaining.
Yeah, one video. All right, I watched like 2 videos. That was about the end of it. There was one video that was 2 minutes and 9
They have like
seconds
compilations
long.
one, so I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's like a thing that they do for TV or something.
I have no idea.
But then
I
again,
watched
in the US, in Japan, they have lots of mascots like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I watched the first one that was like 2 minutes and 9 seconds, and I was like, this has been going on for a really long time, and then I looked and it was like 2 minutes and 3 seconds, and I'm like, holy crap.
Is it the one where he starts hitting the like the boxing thing?
Yes, or slicing it with a katana or something.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's just like, what the hell?
There's like a compilation video. I don't think I listed this one. I think it's one of the latest videos, but the Polymatic.NN for Cheeton.
Yeah. Okay. So this is gonna start John's hate, and actually the first video is kind of like, what? This guy talking, I'm like, he should just not talk. But Polymatic.link/NU, reinventing the bicycle wheel. I thought it was kind of interesting. It was basically a guy and an engineer. Let me preface that with an engineer. They came up with a way for you to kind of replace your bike wheel that is sort of intelligent motorized. So you can kind of turn your normal bike into basically like a moped. And then the direct link to the company, if you're interested in Geo Orbital, Polymatic.link/NV. And now I wait for John's informed opinion.
Okay, so there's
I
an
knew it.
episode of South Park
Oh
where
yeah.
Mr. Garrison
Oh,
designs a new wheel,
yeah.
a new transportation device, the It. And when I saw this is the first thing I thought about. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
But
so
this
where
isn't-
are the parts in that thing where you
yeah.
sit? It does not look
Yes.
good.
So, yeah, this isn't that gross kind of approach, but they're parroting a thing where people had done that. There was a guy who created a big, huge wheel himself, and then he put sort of a stabilizing motorized mechanism inside where he sits sort of center, like a motorcycle, except it's sort of inverted. This is really just for your bike because you really just take your front wheel, you wrap a tire around
Yeah.
this thing, and it basically stabilizes and gives you motion.
What
Um,
I don't understand in this thing is that the current design for a wheel, right? There's already wheels like this out there. Not like this because they really changed the way they do this. But the reason why you put spokes in there is so you have enough stability, and so you
Right,
have
strength.
enough strength.
Yeah.
Right. So I wonder how this would do under loads, because
Oh, that's a good
I don't
question.
think it's gonna be good. I think
No,
it's gonna
I
be
don't.
lopsided really
Yeah.
fast, and it's gonna break.
Yeah, that's a good question. And could this be a value add for something like a tank installation with that has reinforcing, hub structures? I don't really know. But yeah, that's a good point. And
Well,
I don't know.
it
I
also
thought it
looked
was
like
interesting.
one of those robots from like Star Wars, like from the first prequel
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
I
Or
thought,
turkeys
yeah.
from South Park.
Hmm?
Turkeys, deadly turkeys from South Park. The
Um,
movie. You remember that? No, it doesn't matter.
no. Yeah. But I think well, it's always good to look at things and redesign things.
Yeah.
But
No, but I thought it was kind of interesting.
they could use this in like in a bigger size. This would probably work.
Yeah, I would think in a society that's a little bit more bicycle enabled naturally, not like forced by current society to do it. This might be a really cool
Well,
thing
for the U.S., yeah, but over here we already have e-bikes.
No, I
Lots
meant
of
for
them,
like
actually.
more of Europe than less than of the U.S. because there's a lot of this sort of everyone should use a bicycle to get around. You can rent a bicycle, you can rent a moped and a car, but there's all kinds of videos where these things are they're problematic for cities. They're not good.
Well,
Just people have been ditching these bicycles and piling them up all over in the cities.
yeah, the
So-
was it the birds the thing? There's like a e-bike thing that you can rent. Somewhere
Yeah,
in the
that's
U.S.
the
called
kind
a
of.
bird or something
Oh,
like that.
well, that I don't know about. Yeah.
And then they're paying people to catch and release them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So regardless, I don't know. I thought it was kind of neat. Geo-orbital, basically. So
Yeah.
polymatic.link/NU and NV.
Of course, my opinion on this is like, it doesn't really matter what I think about it. I have some issues with this. It's like I can understand why you're doing this, but I've seen it executed way better with
Yeah.
like more traditional. And I don't say that I'm pro the traditional way of doing things. I'm like, I've already seen in wheel motor done well, right?
Sure.
You can do this inside the spoke, inside the hub in the middle, and that will work great. You can even put the batteries in between the spokes, and then you can do everything inside the wheel. Just put a cover on it, and there's already people with you can just replace the entire spokes thing with just a cover, like the metal plate. You can just replace that. But then again, hey, that's how I would solve it. Next one. I intend to, as soon as Adobe releases this software, I'm intending on using this on Alan at some point. Make him say really horrible things. So Polymatic.NQ for the new thing from Adobe where you can reformat the way that things are said.
So I was curious if they were ever going to release it, and I think what it comes down to is they have no plans of releasing it because the legal side of Adobe has taken issue, and primarily because of its misuse.
But you can already do this.
Sure, there's there's a bunch of, especially with like the evidence of things with Google's Dua, whatever, their duplex. There has been people have sort of open sourced some projects to do sort of self training with someone's voice.
You can do this with video, and you can do this with if you can do it with video, you can definitely do it with audio.
Sure, right. And of course, this is evidence from 2016 that this could be done, and they had a pretty good kick-ass demo regarding it. But also in the same respect, will it actually ever come to be, or will someone else come along with a free open source, untethered legally project to do this? Does the technology exist? And obviously, clearly, it works really well. Yeah, it works really well. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's ever going to come officially from Adobe though, as Voco. But it's pretty neat. It's pretty good kick-ass demo. I'm not sure that I ever
just
want
to use it on Alan's track. Just want to use it. Make Alan say really horrible stuff.
Yeah, well, I do it anyways. You just take years worth of recording from me, and you can find ways to make me cultivate me to say really bad things, even though I never did.
Oh, and of course, everything you say after we stop recording. Right, when I stop recording.
Right. All those terrible things that John says about people. Yeah,
Can make a song out of
that. That's a terrible thing. Give that to Andrew Wong, and he'll find a way to make something awesome out of it.
Okay, so the next one. I've seen this video a couple of times already.
Yeah, I was going to share something else, but I thought, this is a little bit better. I don't know. Maybe I already shared this. I saw this. I was like, that vehicle. I mean, I know it's only moving like a mile an hour, but that's pretty kick-ass looking vehicle. It doesn't need to be like awesome, like it came from a sci-fi film, but it's pretty freaking awesome looking. Polymatic.link/NW. Maybe I have shared this before. Basically, Stephen Colbert, The Late Show, basically he gets in a vehicle with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and it's one of the Mars rovers. Well, probably not that one. That's probably the duplicate that will be here on Earth, but that will be sent to Mars eventually.
What I thought at some point, like they were driving it, and I thought that was a green screen thing.
No, they were driving.
But it looked like it was a green screen thing. It just, maybe they use a different type of camera.
Oh, it's possible. I don't know, but it looks pretty badass as a vehicle.
Yeah.
It really does. It looks
pretty badass,
but
it looks like one of those things from Mass Effect. They had a little thing you could drive around on planets with. Yeah. The Mako.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is legit.
And
but
that's
it
what
still
it looks
looks
like.
pretty badass.
I just want one.
Yeah.
And then
I want one to go normal speed, not that slow. I
don't think it will be
Tesla
allowed on the highway, but
Yeah, when Tesla's done with their Roadster, they can do their Mars rover.
Well,
and have a version that.
When they made this, I'm pretty sure somebody was really into Mass Effect at that point. I think that's what. Yeah. If you just Google Mass Effect Mako, and you'll see the thing that I mean. Anyway, there was Polymatic.link/NW.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott Manley was doing some measurements, and he was using cameras to measure the real altitude of the space station by looking at the sun, where it passed in front of the sun, the space station, and they measured between like a kilometer difference, and they could see what the altitude of the space station really was. It's a math. It was pretty cool. Polymatic.link/NR. It's a really long video.
Yeah.
But if you're into this kind of stuff, this is really cool. It's like, yes, it is really up there. Polymatic.media.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine who's really into this stuff, and he had we were at sort of a mutual friend's bachelor weekend or something like that, and this was at like a shore house, and so he dragged us out to near the shore where we in the parking lot we stood up there looking up like at one of those like harvest sized moons or whatever it was that was going on. And he's like, I think it's going to come real soon. We're going to look for it. And, he took his telephoto lens and we got a real tiny little dot, but we could see it move. And I've seen other people do this with like telescopes and their camera and take the video, and they, with really big telephoto lenses. And, if you look real close, you can see it whiz by.
So
And
Destin
obviously,
from Smarter Every Day, he's been he did a video for the eclipse where he traveled to a point where he could see it on the thing, and he missed it on in live, but he saw it he was too excited to see it, and then he didn't press the button, so he kind of missed it.
yeah.
But there's a website out there you can use to see where it is. It's also in this video.
But it's the important note about the space station is it is not as far out as people believe, and it is really it's not really orbiting as much as it's falling around the Earth at a high rate of speed.
That's what an orbit is.
Well, no, a
Yes,
real
it
orbit.
is.
If you're in real orbit, you'd be farther out away from the
No.
Earth's gravity hold.
No. An orbit is nothing but falling and not hitting it. That's what an orbit is.
There's some actual consideration of what's considered to be a real planetary orbit versus just falling
depends
around.
on what you mean by space. So if you are
Well, then
not
it technically
up high
is
enough,
not in space.
well, then again, nothing is ever in space. But
Yeah.
if you're not high enough, you have to contend with some of the atoms from the
Sure,
atmosphere,
yeah, I
and that's
understand.
where the space station is.
Yeah,
It's still not
well
high
within
enough.
a visible.
Right. So you can have a geostationary orbit, and you can
Yeah.
have just a normal orbit. And if you have a normal orbit, you're falling around, and you're moving around. But in
Right.
geostationary orbit, you're moving with the planet.
And the station's
but
out
you're
there
still falling.
pretty far.
You're still falling. That's why you have no weight.
Yeah.
Anyway, so next one.
Okay, so this is a really weird one, but I thought I'd share it anyways. Solo, a derp fake story. I guess this but this YouTube channel does this stuff. They actually put Harrison Ford in Solo.
Back into Solo.
Yep. So Polymatic.link/NX. Yep.
Okay.
Just his face, not his voice.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying. Maybe they can use some of the other software from earlier.
Yeah,
Maybe
they could
just,
use the
redo the entire
deepfake
movie
software
with
plus
Harrison Ford.
Voco. Yep.
Maybe they can ask Google to sample all of Harrison Ford's sounds, like from the original movies.
And
then
make
they
him
can,
make
and then
phone
actually
calls for
fix
you.
Solo.
Oh God.
Hey, they could do that. Okay, so Haggler's Delight for exposure. We've talked about for exposure before. For exposure is a Twitter account where they show pictures of people haggling and asking people to do free artwork for exposure.
Oh yeah.
And this is somebody who took those conversations, those screenshots, and narrated them. It's pretty cool. Polymatic.link/NS for that.
Yeah, this has been going on. This happens when people get leverage, and it's one thing when you do this with a business for sponsorship or whatever. It's surprising that there's a skill for ask and negotiation. And some people are like, well, look at my 15 million YouTube followers and my 45 million Instagram followers, and I got leverage. I got an audience. And I did I think a Taku's Life on this. Just like, those individuals really don't care about you as a fan. They care about your number, and they care about how they leverage it. Now, whether they're 15 years old or they're 20 years old or they're 40 years old. They use that leverage so they don't have to work for the man and be frictionless in their approach and have everyone throw stuff at them. And they're like, well, I'm a travel vlogger, so I heard I should come out to your bed and breakfast, and if you will comp me for free, I'll come out there.
There was a guy in the UK who had a bed and breakfast or like a hotel thing, and some YouTuber wanted to get free stuff. And he called them out on Twitter.
This isn't unusual. Yeah. I mean, now your Casey Neistat of the world, he just does stuff, and at some point he might ask, but he asks earnestly. He doesn't ask like, comp me, give me free stuff. He's like, hey Samsung, I really love your phone. I'm probably going to talk about it.
No, for Casey Neistat, Samsung is going to just be ringing his doorbell.
Right, but because someone in the know knows something and understands the value of that. But there have been cases where when he does use his music, he asks for help. I'm not sure he's asking for free. I'm sure he'll compensate people. Yeah. If he's not a sleaze, right? If somebody gives him something for free, that's one thing. In the case of OG, we have a guy who's a really great artist. He wants to draw you as an anime character. He'll flip it around. He'll do it. An amazing job. It will look like it came out of like an actual, studio. And I said, how can I pay you? And every time I see him at Medicon every year, I'm like, how can I pay you? Can I give you a couple $100 for that? Something? You did this for free. It was awesome. I'm using it. Can I pay you? No. Okay. So it's not like I never offered, and it's not a thing I'm doing out of the sake of not doing. It's because I earnestly want to compensate him.
Yeah. Alan, you're just a freeloader.
Yeah, and so there are lots of people, especially when some of those individuals are doing pretty well in life, and they're already a quarter percentage of the way of being a millionaire, and they're asking for free stuff.
Yeah, but the video in question here, Polymatic.media/NS, is about people who are just asking for free art.
Right. Yeah, and
so this is nothing.
It's the same kind of. The same kind of attitude. It's like, you really do really good music stuff. Make me something, and I will play it, and I'll give you a link. Like, that might be a value add, but, you got to understand everybody's time is worth something. Yeah. If your time is worth something, their time is worth something too.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I got something I will shut up about. My rant is. So I don't know. Again, I clearly I'm subscribed to the Vox and the Verge and things like that, and there are some good videos. And so this one I thought was pretty good. I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't even know who this person was. But again, I don't really follow like game documentaries that often. But this was pretty good. Polymatic.link/NY, and it's why is the WASD keys a common default configuration for video games?
Yeah. Polymatic.link/NY, right?
Yep. That's correct.
Okay, next one. It's kind of a Halloween themed one. Tentacles in Philly. Polymatic.link/NT.
Is this your encouragement?
Don't go near don't go near that building, Alan.
Yeah, that does not. First thing, aside from concerns that a tentacle is going to come grab me, looking at the building, it does not look like a building I would want to go near anyways.
It's a building where if you go near there, you're probably going to lose some organs.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. If you're not in like a truck or a vehicle where you're going to like the shipyard for shipyard related things. Polymatic.link/NT. Tentacles in Philly. Care of John. I didn't even know it existed. I think I shared it with a group of people. I didn't share it with a local Mastodon, but I will now. And probably someone goes, yeah, I know that place. I am not going to go there to take pictures for you. I'm just saying. Okay, so the last fun stuff thing that we have, Someone recreated Pokemon Red inside Minecraft map, inside a
Yeah.
Minecraft map. Pretty impressive. I've not gone there to play it myself. Polymatic.link/NZ. I was like, that's a lot of effort to do that.
Yep.
That's a lot of effort.
Yeah, you'd think that instead of doing it that way, did he actually just go and do everything by hand? I don't
Yes.
think he would.
Yep.
It's just too much
Apparently,
work,
this is
man.
what he does.
Man, it's just such a waste of time. They should implement Lua in Minecraft so you can do some scripting
Yeah.
instead of
Who
all
was
the
it?
command blocks.
There was a guy who
Oh, you can do it
he-
with mods. You can do it with
Right,
mods. There was like
yeah, there's mods.
Hermitcraft thing where he's like inside of a cabin and he could only do things through a computer. He had to program a robot to do things for him.
well, there was another guy. This guy, Kevin Gishi, I believe, and that was it. That was his streaming thing, and I was watching it for a while, and then he stopped doing it. But he was using some kind of Lua script, a mod or whatever for Minecraft, and he was teaching himself Lua script as he was doing it. And it could be 18-minute videos, but he was doing exactly what you were talking about, sort of where he was in the cabin and he would program the robot to go mine stuff for him and, stuff like that, get water. Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was kind of curious. Yeah.
Okay, next is music. The Quiet Divide by Rian Sheenan. I don't know how to pronounce this. Polymatic.media/NL.
Yeah, I know you paused because of where you live, but they're not related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty good music. Did you listen to this?
I
No?
did. I don't know. It didn't really. I don't know. I wasn't really engaged by it. I'm not sure why. It just wasn't. I can't remember what my reaction was last night.
Okay. Oh, it's an entire album. It's on Spotify. So
Yeah.
it's like really. It's all different kinds of music.
Yeah.
So maybe you didn't click the right one.
Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, I clicked a couple of them randomly to see if I would find something in there that was of interest, but I don't know, it just sort of didn't click with me. So I got 2 links in a row for you by a group called Hippocampus. Buttercup and Bambi. Buttercup is 00, polymatic.link/00, and polymatic.link/01, the number.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know,
They're
kind
strange
of
videos.
strange videos. Music's kind of real chill. The strange isn't what attracted me. I like the music,
Okay.
and someone kind of had a general recommendation for people, so I was like, oh yeah, I like these.
Okay, I think I left one out. But there's 2 little pieces of music. So you've heard one of these before, probably. Medeon,
Both of them actually.
Medeon Pop Culture and
Yeah.
Marble Soda by Sean Wasabi. Polymatic
Yeah.
link/NP and Polymatic link/NO. So Sean Wasabi has a new track out, but I forgot to link it. So I'll probably try to do that. It will be in the show notes, I hope.
I see it here. Marble Soda.
Yeah, but that's not
Sure.
the latest track from him.
Oh, okay.
So he put up a new track, but the thing why I link these 2 is because they do the same thing basically. They have like their little
and I
pads
was
where they
I'm
touch the buttons.
definitely familiar with Sean Wasabi, so definitely a general recommendation for his stuff.
Yeah.
Madion, I definitely knew of him, and he does another song with Porter Robinson or something that's really good. And I know this song, and I checked my Spotify, and I both have them. I'm following both of them.
Yeah.
So in general, if you like this kind of sound, then I would follow both of them.
Yeah, definitely, and also check out Porter Robinson. His album was pretty good.
Yeah, I know that I wrote it down as a thing to buy all his stuff, and I just haven't gotten around.
Well,
to
he's
doing
got
it
just
yet.
got one album out, and then there's
Yeah.
some single stuff.
But there's other artists that
He
that
did
I
a
like.
he did a
that
thing
need a-
for BBC where he did like an hour-long mix, and maybe he's longer than that. but there's like lots of different tracks that he liked at the moment of writing that album,
Yeah.
and he put out a really long mix for the BBC, and that was really good. It's like the
Hmm.
gorillas and all sorts of different stuff. There was a Japanese singer that I started following because of this. She's like really weird, like with eyes and stuff.
Oh, okay. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'll link that in the future. Anyway, Polymatic link slash NP and Polymatic link slash NO as in the
I
letter O.
was I was having a J-pop conversation, and somebody gave sort of a vague definition of some video they thought, asking if I knew about it, which clearly I don't. And then I went back around that time frame, and I found I recalled, I totally forgot about Kiari Pamu Pamu.
That's who you mean. That's who I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, and she's got said pawn, and the candy one. It's just like super crazy, but super catchy.
Yeah.
And like when you see her out of all that crazy stuff, so that's immediately where my brain went. But that just sort of lit me up onto this conversation of like she super crazy, but like if you ever see interviews with her, she's totally normal.
Yeah. But anyway, he did like a really good mix of like all different types of styles of music,
Yeah.
and then yeah, mix them all together into like a continuous thing for like
Yeah,
an hour.
Porter Robinson got on a list of things that I know I need to go back and buy, and I just never got around to that. And when I went looking around on Medion's like website or YouTube page, I hit that combo with, and it's like, I feel like I own this. Like I've heard this a lot. I love this. I listen to this a lot, and I'm like, why do I know? Oh, Porter, that sounds. And I looked in Spotify, and I was following them. So
Yeah.
I clearly need to go back and buy some albums.
Okay.
So yeah. All right. So I've already shared this group before, AJR before, but they released one of their songs called "Turning Out" as an animated short film, and I like the song, but I also kind of like the video. It's
This is a space
like a
thing,
love
right?
story. Yeah, this is Space One. It's animated. It's a love story. Keep that in mind, and it goes really well with their song. If you already I'm already acclimated to liking their music, so clearly I already
Yeah.
like this combo. Polymatic.link/O2. What'd you think? Did you watch it?
It was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot better than the
If you
next
don't,
stuff.
clearly, if you don't like their music, then you won't really like, probably won't like the animated film. Won't add any value. Okay, so I guess I got a bunch. So there's a group called Half Alive, and I got two links for you. Still Feel, period. Polymatic.link/O3. And the other song is Awake at Night. And so Awake has got a double A, and not that's not a spelling mistake. This is how it's
Hmm.
spelled. Polymatic.link/O4. Interesting. I kind of like them. So that's why I was sharing them.
Okay.
So, and then last in terms of music, there's a guy called Kelvin Jones that has made some other stuff. I own at least one of the albums that he made recently, and I like his music. I like his sound. But then he did this, did a I guess a collab with Sarah Hartman, which I don't really know her as an artist. It was a song called Magnetic. And this is a little bit more energetic compared to his normal kind of music. His music's typically kind of sappy and chill.
Hmm.
But I definitely recommend Kelvin Jones as an artist. I probably will share some of his stuff in the future. But I really like this song. I thought it was really good. So polymatic.link/O5. John, I asked your opinion, but I'm sure it's not your thing.
I think I didn't watch this one. I think I might have
Oh,
skipped over this link by accident.
oh,
I did
okay.
watch all the other stuff, so
All
this
right.
is,
Yeah. I
I
don't take
just
offense.
didn't watch this one.
Yeah, I don't think this isn't like electronic or anything like that. This is I don't
Then
know.
again,
You might like it.
I'm
You
also
might not.
somebody that linked a more rock thing last episode. So I have all
Yeah,
sorts of weird
yeah.
music
I
tastes.
never
So
know what fits for you. I would never buy you an album unless you have obviously Porter Robinson or Medion. Can buy you the albums and you'd
already
be
have them.
happy.
So
Yeah, and I would be too because I like that stuff. I do like I share like Quinn 92 and AOK. Like I like these sort of crossovers when they do crossovers with other artists where that general artist that is doing like the feature isn't normally, that's not their kind of thing, and they're either strong on their own to a sound you like, or they're just simply not, but they come together and they do something unique, collaboratively when they do these features. And so I like music like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now something that I really recommend that Alan should do at some point is get the audiobooks for The Consuming Fire and The Collapsing Empire by John Scalzi.
Okay.
John Scalzi put out a new book, The Consuming Fire, which is the second part of the Collapsing Empire trilogy, Interdependency trilogy. So it's about 8 hours for the second book. I think it was 8 hours for the first book too, but it's really good. I really, really, really love this book. John Scalzi does a lot of stuff. He has lots of books, and he's like Old Man's War, stuff like that. I couldn't really get through the later books of that series, but the second book for this series is really good. I really love the first one. I really like the second one. So if there's like a book that I think you should listen to on audiobook, or maybe even get the actual physical book, which might be an issue, but because sitting down and reading a book is harder than taking a book in audio format to your head.
You can do that more intimately, and I think that would be a challenge for me. It's not because I'm incapable of reading or whatever, is that when I have free time, I don't have much of it.
No, but I listen to this while playing World of Warcraft.
Right. And so like an audiobook can let you multitask.
Yeah, or drawing,
just having
or
to
something
stop
like that.
and focus and read a book doesn't.
But this is read by Will Wheaton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he did the first book too.
I have been considering, especially for it's now not as much of a problem anymore, but there was probably through half of October and a good part of September, I had caught up with every single podcast I've ever had in my backlog.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You don't understand, people. That's a lot. And I listened to all the things and obviously selectively said, no, I'm not interested in, it's not like I said no to 100 things. There are things where I don't really care. And so I won't listen to a specific show. But I caught up with everything. And then I was looking for more podcasts to listen to. And so I was like, maybe it's time for me to weave in some audiobooks. And I got to a book and I'm like, okay, I'd be interested in this topic. And I'm like, I listened to a sample of the reader and I was like, nope, don't like that guy's voice.
Dude, totally check out The Consuming Fire and the Collapsing Empire by Scalzi.
Okay, so that's polymatic.link/NM.
You like sci-fi, you'll love the reading that Will Wheaton does.
Yeah.
If this is like a way to get into audiobooks.
Okay.
And there's a lot of readers out there that like the performers out there that are really bad, but there's some really good ones out there as well.
Sure. And I think that has a lot to do with it. Hank Green's new book is read by not him, of course, but his primary character is not also a guy. So, some part of me wants to take issue with that, but then they go, oh, right, okay. I don't even know what the primary character is.
But there's a difference between some stuff that some readers do, like some performers do. So there's a book called Artifact by, don't remember what the name of the reader is, but the narrator was Luke Daniels. Now, that book I couldn't get through. It was really boring, but that had more to do with the book than the narrator.
Okay.
And I listened to some other stuff he did. So he did the Ember War Saga. I've talked about that before here, and it's and that's really good.
I think that and maybe this is just my approach to the thinking of it or how I react to things, but it's the same thing with podcasts, right? I was listening to a podcast as I was testing out other shows about where the guy was talking about Amiga and the history of Amiga and what happened with Commodore, and while the information was interesting, I just couldn't get past this guy's presentation. I couldn't get past his voice. His voice was okay, but it was just not presented in a really interesting format.
Well,
he was
and
just
the
not very
narrator can
good.
really tank a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that is the combo where you sample a book, and if you can't get into the narrator, then I think the audiobook will not have any value for
There's some
me.
really good ones out there. There's R.C. Bray, which he does so many books. He's really good. So there's Ray Porter, who does 14 The Fold. He did the Bobiverse books. And then there is the guy that did the Not Alone books. So James Patrick Cronin, I think, yeah. Who else? Luke Daniels pretty good with the Ember War saga stuff, and yeah, let's see who else. Oh, and I listened to I tried to get into the Culture series by Ian M. Banks. It's like a really big name when it comes to it. I could not get into it because the narrator is so bad, and that's also it's like lots of politics. I mean, it's like 16 hours of politics, and I really can't stand that stuff.
I think there's going to be a lot of dynamics. I'm going to have to find my way into audiobooks, and I know it's not going to come easy, but it's on my list of things to make an effort towards at some point.
It's sad I cannot gift you an specific audiobook. I can gift you credit for Audible.
Right.
I just cannot gift you a specific book, which is something that I would like to be able to do.
That's the same kind of thing I have with gifting. I would be happier if people just gave me a gift, like gift me a video I don't already own, like in Amazon Prime. Like just give me the high definition video or the ultra high definition video. That would be awesome, but they don't really have a system like that, and I think they're missing out a lot of money. They're leaving money on the table by not having a mechanism like that.
Yeah, I forgot one, which is really important. So you've watched The Expanse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the audiobooks for this, and I think this is probably why the book is so big. The audiobooks really help with that, I think. Of course, this is no fact. I don't know anything about this, but
it's just your opinion.
It's just my opinion. The audiobooks for The Expanse are done by what's his name? Jefferson Mays. So there was one book where they couldn't get Jefferson Mays for one of the books. It's like the third book, I think. No, the fourth book. Where they go. It's just actually what the new season is going to be about. So.
Oh, got you.
Yeah. So. I cannot really tell anything, but there's some points in there where they just changed the narrator, and that really hurt because it was hard to get through. But then Jefferson Mays re-narrated it, and we got it for free, which is great because they just redid the narration, and you got the new book. Because I think that they realized that they did a really horrible job, which is, kind of annoying for the person that did record it.
Performers have a lot to do with the essence of a production.
It wasn't that bad. It was just very different from what the original was.
What you're used to, yeah.
And these characters have like a specific voice. And when they changed the voice, it was like, this is not the Amos. This is not the Holden. This is not the Naomi. This is not the Alphasorella. I mean...
Right. It changes everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
So... go check it out. Polymatic.MN, I think. For The Consuming Fire by John Scalzi. So, Alan, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter, CHAESS, my last name. You can find me on Mastodon at Alan, ALAN, at JAWNS.club, if you want to. If you want to.
So, you can find me on Twitter at WebDivvy, WEBDEVVIE. For feedback, you reach us at podcast@Polymatic.media. Our music is by Say Unz, which you can find at Polymatic.link/EK. The Twitter for this show is The Polymatic. The website is Polymatic.media, and I hope you tune in next time. Recording now.
Okay.
I finished my Red Bull. I should be talkative today.
More than me, we'll find out. All right. You're listening to... Oh, that didn't sound right. You're listening to Polymatic.media, episode 49 for October. Does not roll off the tongue the way you write it. All right, that's a blooper for you at the end. All right, restarting.